Yo, it's your man with the plan, Marcel Lars here to talk about Gacha, and I guess alongside that Genshin Impact. And what kind of prompted this video is a few conversations I saw online about how Gacha works and betting works, and there's been a lot of things about betting and Gacha that's been going on, and I feel like as a content creator who does videos on Genshin Impact at the current moment of me making this, I feel like my responsibility, even if I'm not a big content creator, I feel like it's my responsibility to kind of, tell you guys the real life truth about Gacha, or just to warn you guys. That's probably better to say. I'm here to warn you guys about how Gacha works, and just for you guys to play it smart and not to get hooked on this stuff. And I feel like since I make content on this type of stuff, I'm the one out here like saying, oh my god, this character from Genshin is great. This character is just so freaking amazing. He does backflips now. He does this, and all it's going to take is for you to get him guaranteed at a 50% rate. You know what I'm saying? And you put money into it or whatever, save it up for years. And to me, I feel like I don't know. I feel like, especially somebody who hypes up, especially kids and a lot of people who watch you, as long as you have a few subscribers, there's probably one person that's listened to you even a little bit, and you just want to let them know, like it's not that serious. And I kind of want to talk about some of the rules that I go by when I do Gacha, and some of the rules that you probably should go by too. And I'm going to start off with the first rule. The first rule that I go by when I'm talking about Gacha, and this is for all betting. This applies for stocks. This applies for slot machines. This applies for opening packs of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, because that can get expensive. If you buy a booster box, that's $100. It's basically the same thing as Gacha, because you're getting the card you want, most likely, and there's still a chance you might not get the card you want, like Gacha. So there's a lot of things in real life that are like that. Lottery tickets. So when I talk about Gacha, I'm not just talking about Gacha. I'm talking about all Gacha. I'm talking about all type of randomly generated numbers that you may or may not lose. You may or may not gain anything from, and you put money into. So I'm talking about all of this. But the first rule I like to go by is that you should always have a budget for yourself. Always have a budget for yourself. You should know how high you want to go and how low you want to go. My budget for Genshin has always been $5 to $50 a month, which is still freaking expensive. Don't get it twisted. That's still expensive. You shouldn't have to spend that much on anything. Oh, that's video game related consistently. Maybe unless it's like an MMO, which is still, that's different, but it's still, you're still spending money every month on something consistently like that. It's a bill. But yeah, always set a budget for yourself. For Genshin is $5 to $50, and if there's a character I really want, I have $100 purchase that I'm going to make if there's for a character later down the line that I really want. Other than that, I have no money. No more money than that a month, and that's a budget. That's because I'm comfortable with whatever job situation you have. You have no job or whatever, money saved up or whatever you have. That's what you're comfortable with. And it should always be your money. Keep in mind, I think it always should be your money, either if it's gifted to you or if it's given to you. It should always be your money, because I think people get a little trigger happy. That's why I don't think kids should do it when it's their parents' money, or it's a limited amount of money that they don't, they don't have any ownership over the money. It's a little dangerous because you can go forever on somebody else's money. It's just how it works. So always have a budget. Always have a budget for Gacha on how much you want to spend, how much you want to put into it, how much you want to get out of it. Not how you much get out of it, but how much you just want to pump into there, basically, what I'm trying to say. Because that's very important, because a lot of people, they don't put a budget on themselves, and they're just like, oh, until I get this character. Oh, until. And it's just like, okay, you can't go until you get somebody. It's just, that's very dangerous. It's a very dangerous mindset. I call it the waifu mindset, because it's like you're like, I'm getting this waifu no matter what happens. But there's other things to think about when you do that, because I'm about to get into some other points too. But number 2 is that make sure whatever game or whatever you're investing in or whatever you're putting your money into is not isn't it's not a scam. And what I mean is not a scam. They should either the rates should be acceptable enough for you to win, or number two, or at least with the mathematics in there, sometimes you just pull enough times the rate works out for you, because they'll be like, oh, 1.1, but if you pull 100, you're guaranteed to get one, and 100 is $20 or whatever. But make sure the rates are acceptable. Number two, well, while in that number two, also, if the rates aren't acceptable, also try to see if they have a type of pity system or there's some type of guaranteed win in whatever you're doing, because I do not recommend anybody putting their money or time into anything that does not have a guaranteed win. Granted, the reason why I even play Genshin Impact is because there's a guaranteed way to get a 5-star character. It's not just a 1.6 chance of getting a 5-star character. It's a 1.6 chance plus it's exponential. It goes up every single time you press the button. So 1.1 turns into 2.1 on the second one, and then on the third, when you do a full 10 pull, it goes up probably until like 5.5, and then pretty much before it hits pity, you're at a 25% chance, and then it goes up to like 75 by like when you hit. I think when you hit 75, it hits like close to like it's like a high 70% chance or 50%. It was like a high percentage chance or something like that. I can't remember, but always make sure there's a fair rate. Because I feel like there's a lot of people who play these games and they just go into it even if it has no rate to it. And it's like, that's very predatory. To me, that's the ultimate predatory thing to do. If there's something you want and they're gating it behind unlimited chance of you not be able to get it, it's horrible. And another thing I like to say to do, this is something especially for video game stuff. There's a lot of content creators that do hype up a lot of stuff. They do hype up a lot of stuff because it's kind of our job. It's our job, and it's just kind of what we do. We hype up stuff. Like, I have so many games. I have so many RPGs here. I have so many different games I play, and not all of them I like to like. There's not a whole bunch of them where I'm just like, yes, you need to get this. You need to get this. But I like them enough to talk about them, and that's influencing somebody to get stuff. And if you feel like there's anybody on your timeline, me included, that you feel like there's influencing you to break your code too much, like sometimes you break your code, spending code and whatever, and sometimes it just is you just like, oh my god, why did I do that? But if you keep on doing it, or you just have a problem, it's very important to let you guys know that you can unfollow people. You can for a second, or even it could even just be for a second. You can unfollow. I don't care if it's me or it's PewDiePie. I don't know. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? If PewDiePie plays Genshin Impact and he's doing $1 billion rolls and that makes you sweat, don't watch PewDiePie. Do $1 billion rolls. Unsub sub from him. Because this is all Gacha. I get to that point. Actually, I'll get to that. But content creators are very influential in some ways, because you just see us do these crazy stuff and it makes you inspired sometimes. But don't follow the trend. Maybe follow one or two people that are reasonable minded. They could be boring to you, but if you want to keep up with the game and you still want to play the game, you can follow some. I follow two. I had to unfollow a lot of Genshin because it was just like, you sweat, even if you don't, you're not going to spend money on this game. You sweat a little bit when you see people spend money on it. It's like, oh, they got this. I can get this if I do this. He's like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You're here to have fun. You're here to fun. You find fun in what you get. I would say that. But I'll get to that point. There's 2 points. I'm rushing through my points a little bit. But the second point I like to give is, I'm doing this off the top of my head, so give me a second. I think I guess that's a good point to start off of. Be fine with what you get. A lot of people, a lot of times you put $50 in there, $100 in there, and you just be like, I really want this character. I really want him really badly. And don't get it twisted. There's a lot of marketing especially for Genshin and for high class gacha games or loot boxes. They'll have these cool costumes that make your character look like she's from an off-brand anime, or a cute costume that makes her, that says perfect, that she looks just like you now, or something. Don't let that get into your head that that's necessary. You know what I'm saying? Or yeah, no, I'll get to that too. I was like, I have so much things I want to talk about this. Don't make you, when people see characters like that and you're like, oh, I want this character, I want this costume, I want this loot box costume, I don't care if it's Call of Duty. This applies for all of them. Or I don't want this Yu-Gi-Oh card. Be happy with what you get. Unless it's like your job, like content creator, then you can go crazy, I guess, if you make the money to make up for it. But, you know, be happy with what you get. If you get all 4 stars, all the 4 stars in the whole freaking game, and you put $1 billion in there, which you probably should never do. You should never put money in there that your family will gasp at you for doing. You know, that's it. It is what it is. You know, just be happy that you got those 4 stars. I think that's very important. But this kind of going into this other point. I'm just going through all the points. I don't care what order they're in. I'm just doing it. The next thing is that this stuff is advertised very heavy to appeal to your taste. Like they get top of the line character designs. I remember Narmaya from Granblue. Narmaya from Granblue almost made me not buy Granblue, but almost made me start playing Granblue, because the character designs in these games, they make sure they are the top of the line character designs, personalities, and voice types. Like, it's almost to the point where you're wondering, where the heck are these personalities in the regular games? Like, these characters have such cool personalities. Why the hell are these characters not in regular games? Because, like, I play regular games and they'd be having the most generic personalities, or even in anime, the most generic personalities ever. And you're like, where are these personalities in the regular games? And then that's where they get you, because they try very hard to make sure these characters are cool. Remember, I think around the time I'm making this video, Xiao for Genshin Impact came about. And this is a very important character, because I'm like, this is a very specific character. So, because everybody in the Genshin Impact community loves him, and people from outside the Genshin Impact community loves this dude. And he has so much advertising. You know how many trailers this man has? He has 5 trailers. That's as much as the whole game gets. He gets 5 trailers. And that's as much as, like, Kingdom Hearts got. Maybe a few more. Kingdom Hearts got a few more. But Xiao got 5 trailers. And they're all bomb ass. That makes you excited. And you want to get him. And it makes you feel bad for not getting him. Because you read the comment section. They're like, oh, I got him. I got him in 10 pulls. You're like, man, I can do this. I'm going to put money into this. Advertisement for things like this is very, very, very mathematically, it's meant to fuck with your mind. It's meant to fuck with you. Like, it's literally meant to. Like, I'm very good at not spending my money. And I gotta say, even the Xiao advertisement for me messed with me. And it's crazy how that works. It's crazy. It really has messed with me. Like, and I'm very when it comes about money and spending money on useless stuff. I have a lot of games. People know that I spend a lot of money on games. I really do. But I'm really careful. I'm very careful, especially since I've been in college. I've been very careful about my money, and that got me to get Xiao. That got me to put money down to get Xiao. It really did. Which it was the only character I was actually planning not to get that I actually got. The rest of them I was planning to get. But that just tells you how dangerous it is. I consider myself very, very, very heavy willpower when I decide what I want to do and not to do. It's crazy, man. It's crazy how this stuff works. It's bad. And I'm not shaming anybody who's fallen forward, have done this before. And I know a lot of people down in the comment section be like, free to play, man. That's why you do free to play, blah, 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 blah. It's like, but when you really care about something, you want to put money into it. And you want to get what you want. I understand that feeling. And I think that's something that a lot of people feel before. It's like, I can see from both sides. Why would you put money into something that you know is very, like, not the most guaranteed it's not guaranteed to happen. You know, so especially if it's a lot of money, you know, over $50. I consider over $50 a lot of money. That's my benchmark for anything game related. If a DLC is over $50, I'm like, what the hell did they do to that DLC for a bit? It costs over $50. Very rare, but it still happens. But yeah, it's just like, it's crazy. It's crazy how intense some people are. And it's like, I know people got waifus, but sometimes you just gotta chill out. You just gotta chill out. And it's hard to do that, especially when you have your mindset on something and they advertise a character early. And I know that, but sometimes you just gotta let it go. And if you can't let it go, I really highly recommend you not to get into anything to do with gambling. But the reason why I'm kind of talking about this is because overall in media in general, it's kind of going to that direction in general where, yeah, you can avoid gacha games. You can avoid Genshin Impact. You can avoid the loot boxes. But it's getting to the point now where everything is becoming like that. It's like, oh, everything's becoming very randomized. And in general, like when it comes to buying media, video games, you'd be like, oh, well, this game, you might not get the gun you want in Call of Duty right away, but you have to roll for it. And so either you play 1,000,000 hours for this gun or you put it in money. And it's like, oh, I really like Call of Duty and I've been playing it for years, but I'll put some money down for this gun. It's all kind of going to that direction. Japanese game developers, other than the gacha ones, aren't there yet, but they still got expensive DLC. A lot of Japanese games got expensive DLC, extremely expensive DLC. To the point where I'm like, oh my god, it's crazy. It's very it's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. And honestly, if you are gonna spend money, I do got, other than the few tips I've gave you before about like what you shouldn't do. There's a few things you probably should do. I said before, like, make sure the game has fair rates. That's very important, because then you'll get caught in the trap and you put so much money into it where that's probably another point. You probably need to have an overall limit cap. If you start putting $500 in there and you think that that's going to make you not quit the game, because how it kind of works to me from what I know about gacha is that you put a lot of money in. And then even if you don't like the game anymore, you put so much money in to where you feel like you're obligated to still play the game. And then something else comes out that you want, bam, you spend more money. Bam, over and over. It's a bill. It becomes playing a game should never become a bill. That's my true belief. If it becomes a bill, then we need the game needs to chill out, or you need to chill out. It's one of the two. But something I do in Genshin, like this is for Genshin players. Something I do in Genshin that helps me a lot. So people are always wondering, how do you spend only $5 to $50 a month in this game? It's like, I've only spent, it's still a lot of money, because I think I spent like $200 since for the past 6 months this game's been out, because it's still, like, if you say if $20 average or $30 average, it's still a lot of money. But what I do is this. So Genshin, these things called Welcome Moons in Genshin. This is for Genshin players. The $5. So if you spend money, if you're not free to play people, you know what? I appreciate you guys, but this is not it. I hate that every time I make an argument about this whole video, it's like, the reason why you should be free to play. Blah, 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 blah. No, this is becoming an overall thing in life in general. So this is a life lesson in general. So sit down and listen. Okay. So what you do in Genshin, for you Genshin players, is that you get Welcome Moons. Welcome Moons are these $5 passes a month. And alongside that, you get 2 free rolls with the $5 pass when you buy it. And then you get it pretty much around, like, probably around a $35 value for $5 a month. All you gotta do is log in. You don't even have to play the game. Just log in. That gives you pretty much half a roll every day you log in. So by the time a new character comes out, let's say you probably need to skip at least one character every update, at least once. And you get it probably around, plus if you do all the events, you probably get around, I'm going to start with how much you probably get. You probably get 35 per month when you do the Welcome Moons. 35 wishes. I'm not going to calculate that. You guys can calculate that. And then you do the dailies, which is literally, if you add the Welcome Moon and the dailies together, that's 150 gems, which equals almost one summon a day. And because people always ask me how I do it. How do I get these characters with such a low price? But that's how it works. And then you build on that, and then you can get several Welcome Moons, and it helps you give a little bit of a free draw here and there. Don't use your gems on anything but drawing. Save it for drawing. Don't feel pressured by a character you don't like. There's always one character I don't like. I'm not going for Hu Tao, at least on purpose. I'm not going for Hu Tao. I'm saving for Inazuma. And you just put money into that. That's about $5 a month. That's not that bad, and you can get the battle pass, whatever else you want to get. But if you just want to go low spending, $5. There you go, done. Welkin Moon's done. You can buy it, and it stacks for every month you buy it, so you can just put $30 in there and be like Welkin Moon for the rest of the year, for half the year. There you go, done. $30, $35. And you pretty much got like, including the daily commissions. If you feel like doing those every day, you don't have to. Including the daily commissions and all the events, you pretty much got like, when I got Ganyu, I know there was a lot of gems that came out the month. I had a guaranteed 5.5 stars. All I had to do was put $50 in there, and bam, I got Ganyu. Xiao, I had half. I just got a little lucky on Xiao because she came out right after Ganyu. I freaking just was like, I got half the gems for Xiao. Bam, just put $30 in there. Boom. $30, and I think actually 40 or something, 40, 50 or something like that. Bam, got Xiao. Sounds ridiculous. It's still spending money on stupid shit, but my logic is a fighting game. I treat these games like a fighting game. So you buy the fighting game initially. You buy it for $60. You buy at least a USD. And then you buy it for the DLC. And then you buy the next DLC. And you buy the next DLC. And to me, this is how you should treat this game. Not saying even that's too expensive. Like I said, Japanese games, which most fighting games are, for the most part, Japanese fighting games, are expensive. I remember granblue is like $30 per expansion pass. And it's like 2 of them now. So basically, it's a $120 game. If you want to be a competitive player. But you know what I'm trying to say. The battle pass helps with a lot of different resources. You don't need to get the battle pass. Honestly, I recommend you just wait every day to get more resources if you feel like it. But if you feel like putting an extra $10 in the battle pass, just do that. And it's fun to level it up. It's something to do. And it's something to distract you. And also, something that helps you mentally when you play Genshin is don't always convert your gems into actual equated fates, because you look at them and you're like, oh, I can put these in here, no big deal. It's kind of what happened to me with Xiao. It's like, oh, I have enough to do it. And you're like, I had to go all the way now. But yeah, man, just talking about this is opening my eyes a little bit. I'm still gonna do videos on Genshin. I'm a content creator, and maybe one day I can that'll be my thing. But honestly, you don't need to do any of this stuff. And also for Genshin players, you don't need any constellations. I don't care who says that. Fuck constellations. Unless you're just some big engineer working at some company, or you're some rich kid, fuck constellations. There's no game. No, I don't care if you have the money for it. There's no game that's worth it. Having more than 1 or 2 constellations, and those constellations better be accidents. I'm being real with you. Don't need no constellations. Content creators, they can get constellations because that's their job, to spend money so you don't have to. Okay. But yeah, I think this video's gone on long enough. I think if I make it any more longer, that no one's gonna watch this. But I really appreciate you guys watching this. If those who did watch all of it, thank you so much. Hit me with a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Doesn't matter which one. It just helps new guys that are watching. Also hit the little subscribe button, a little bell icon to join the rebellion, because I'm a lonely bastard and I need friends. And I'll see you guys in the next video and or stream. Bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye.